Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. My name is Pullein and this week it's all about how to be more productive. Now, the reality is a lot of the problems that we have with productivity is actually caused by the applications you are using. You see, if an application is taking up a lot of time, if an application requires a lot of management, a lot of effort and time organizing the stuff that's in there, then while you're doing that, you're not actually doing any work. And this is a key thing to understand. What we need to do is to balance the application's sophistication, its feature set, if you like, and its simplicity. Because the less time you spend inside your productivity app and the more time you spend doing the work that matters, that's when you start improving your productivity. You see, as human beings, we are quite fragile. We only get 24 hours a day, which is great. You can do a lot in 24 hours, but we need a certain amount of sleep each day. We need to refuel ourselves by eating, and we get tired and we go through bumps and it's up and down all day. Usually for most people, when they start their day, they're at their freshest and they can do a lot of work requiring concentration. But then as the day progresses, that ability to concentrate starts declining, and to the point where we find ourselves very, very easily distracted, which is one of the reasons why a lot of apps actually become your worst enemy, because they're pulling you in and they're giving you that false sense that you're doing something productive when really all you're doing is shuffling paper. You're actually reorganizing your lists. You're adding labels that you never look at. You're changing the order of the task list or projects if you're using projects in your task manager. All these things are not doing the work. So what we need to do is to balance that, and we also need to be very, very aware of how we spend our time each day. Now, I can refer back to a podcast I remember listening to maybe for 3 or 4 years ago with Mike Williams. Now, if you don't know, Mike Williams is the CEO of the David Allen Company, the company that does all the training for getting things done. And in that interview that he did on the Mac Power Users, Mike said that at the end of every day, he spends 45 minutes processing his inboxes, and every weekend he does a 2-hour weekly review. And at that time, even 3 years ago, I went, wow, in 45 minutes, I can write a first draft of a podcast. I can record these screencasts in 45 minutes. I can pretty much get 75% of my podcast prepared in 45 minutes. I don't have, and I'm not prepared to spend 45 minutes at the end of the day processing my inboxes. So I had to look at my system and say, well, how can I make this more effective? How can I make this more efficient? So I am spending less than 15 minutes a day processing my inboxes, which is one of the reasons why eventually I came up with the time sector system, because that strips everything out that's not necessary, leaves only the necessary, and allows you to focus on the work that really matters. And that's the key here. If you really want to become more productive, then you need to become hyper aware of how you spend your time each day. Your productivity apps, for example, are not necessarily going to help you. Sure, they come under that title of productivity apps, but if you're spending 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours a day inside those apps trying to decide what to do next, remember, you are not being productive. You are being very unproductive. Now, I can give you an example. People often say, have I looked at Notion? The answer to that question is yes, I've looked at Notion. Let me tell you the story behind this. About a year ago, I downloaded Notion. I was really excited. I'd seen all the videos on YouTube. I'd seen a lot of the users' videos and how they were organized. I thought, wow, this is the brilliant app. And I downloaded it and I spent the next 6 to 8 hours setting it up. I wasn't quite happy with the background image. I wasn't quite happy with how I organized the boards. And I spent about 6 to 8 hours planning setting it all up and playing around with it. I started the day with 10 tasks, as I do with my 2+8 prioritization system. And round about 8 o'clock, when I looked at my task list for the day, I still had 10 tasks to do. And I stopped and went, whoa, I've just spent 6 to 8 hours playing around with Notion. And in that time, I felt I was really being productive. I mean, oh, it's going to be amazing. No, what happened was I didn't get any work done. Notion sucked me in because it had so many features to play with. I wanted to play with them all. And in the end, I realized this was a huge mistake for my workflow. It just doesn't work for me. Notion dragged me in. It wanted me to spend hours in there, hours that I could be spent doing the work that matters, returning the phone calls from the clients, also being able to write those blog posts, do this podcast, do these videos. I wouldn't have time to do them if I had Notion. So Notion went. I deleted it from my computer. And that's the key thing that I really want you to understand here is productivity apps are great if they work for you. But if you find yourself spending too much time, and I mean more than 20, 30 minutes a day inside those apps, then they are not helping you. They are holding you back and they are preventing you from becoming more productive. Reality is all you need is a list of tasks that you need to complete today. You need a place where you can collect new items as they come in, and you need a calendar to be able to organize your hours so where you're spending your time to make sure that you're working at your most effective. That is the key to becoming more productive. It isn't going to be found in the latest app. It's never going to be found in the latest app. What it is going to be found in your calendar, because your calendar is going to give you the truth. It's going to tell you how much time you have to spend when you're not in meetings to do the work that matters. And what I really urge you to do is to take a look at the 2+8 prioritization system. I put a lot of resources out there. It's completely free. Essentially, you've got 2 objective tasks every day, 2 tasks that absolutely must be done, and 8 other what I call focus tasks that you would really like to get done today, but it wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't. Well, I hope you found this episode interesting. I hope you found it very useful. If you did, please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks and news on using productivity in general and becoming more productive, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, it remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.